internet! With the recent livestream, we are shown a lot of updates with the storyline, and especially we've got the new characters in Galbrena and Qiuyuan. And I'll say Galbrena and Qiuyuan, they both look exceedingly attractive. And I'm sure you've heard about enough hype on Galbrena. A lot of people seem to like her because of how much of a badass she is. And today we'll be talking about the new characters alongside a rerun as well, just as a first impression of what's to come, and perhaps it'll help you out in deciding who you should save for. And overall, it's a discussion on what the new characters are all about. With that said, let's just jump right in. We'll start with Galbrena. She is a 5-star fusion pistol user. From what's shown on stream, she looks like a main DPS, obviously, with a long field time and changing of forms as well. Now, whether or not she is a main DPS will obviously depend on her outro and what her numbers are, which as they release, we'll be covering them on the channel, so you have to drop me a follow if you're interested. Now, when deciding if you want to pull a character, you gotta look at the aesthetics first, which Wuthering has never ever been disappointing with it. In terms of aesthetic, Galbrena comes with her own echo with the name Chimera, which does give her a dangerous look overall. She herself already looks menacing enough. Like, she's got a pair of damn wings at the back, and not to mention she has incredibly swift, sharp movements in her attack combos too. As I mentioned, Wuthering usually never drop the ball with the designs, and this is no different to me. It honestly looks pretty cool. Being a pistol user, she zips around the enemy and attacks rapidly, much like other characters. She does also have a separate form, which turns her into the literal devil with her wings out. And yet once you achieve this mode, you get to attack with a mixture of just pistoling, attacking with your wings and such. It's special effects galore. Overall, I have no complaints. It looks awesome to me, and it's a good bang for your buck, I would say. In her ultimate, it actually does look simple if you compare to some other stuff that we have, but it definitely does look powerful and aesthetically pleasing with the dark flames coming from the ground. In terms of gameplay, she's set to gain forte in her normal form with various attacks, so very similar to a lot of other characters. Max it and you get to use her enhanced resonance skill. This is where she changes forms and turns into the devil. And obviously in this mode, she'll do the most damage with some flashy combos, slashing around with wings popping out of her back. And just to add insult to injury is the ultimate, which just looks destructive as heck. And it actually controls the enemy to a certain extent, as explained in the live stream. So this ult is actually perfect when pitched against grouped up mobs to just keep them in control. Overall, in terms of aesthetic, she's certainly a very Wuthering Waves type character. Her swift movements and a lot of special effects is just what you would expect from a character out of the game. And yet whether or not you should pull Galbrena though will definitely depend on the type of damage she deals, since that will decide what her team would be. But one thing is already for certain, the fact that she is fusion to begin with, using her in a fusion team is already an option that Qiuyuan Games is probably hinting at, especially with the Lupa rerun that comes alongside Galbrena's banner. This may spell a new fusion team that's quite strong. We're using Lupa and Brandt supporting Galbrena, while Galbrena stands on field and burns the enemy to cinders. Now, another thought to consider is that with recent versions especially, Wuthering Waves have commonly tried to release ideal team members in the same version and reruns of ideal team members in the version as well. For example, they've released Yuno and Augusta together as a pair. They've also rerun Rachia with Frolova as well at some point, which is where we do see the Lupa rerun coming in, so she should actually be usable in the fusion team. But there's also a chance that Galbrena and Qiuyuan of the second phase could see play with each other too. But then again, it all depends on their damage type and their outro skills and how they interact with each other. Rumor has it though, Galbrena can be used in a variety of teams, hence it's actually quite a safe choice to pull her and expect her to perform well. But it will all wait until more information, which I'll cover them fully in the channel as they get released. But if we're just to rate Galbrena as a character and her animations and everything, I find it quite satisfying. She looks dangerous and attractive at the same time. More so dangerous if anything, which I do think is a good touch. Like, it feels like it suits her vibe a lot more. Let me know what you think about this character, man. I know a lot of y'all like Galbrena, but I also say, damn, I am dried out of pulls after Yuno and Augusta. In any case, that was the first character. Moving on, we got the second new character in Qiuyuan. Qiuyuan is shown to be a 5-star arrow sword user, and based on what's shown on stream, he does look like a main DPS again, but based on what his outro skill is, he could also be more of a sub DPS with supportive outros. It'll all depend on what the outro is. Though in the stream though, he looks like he'd be slashing and dishing out damage for free. In terms of his aesthetics, he looks like the samurai that is about to wipe out an entire army on his own. His animations are what you would expect from a sword-wielding samurai. His combos are mostly rapid slashes with a mix of badass nonchalant leaning on a bamboo, playing a flute, or just drinking out of a cup mid-slash. This is honestly my favorite part about Qiuyuan. Not only his movements are strong and swift, it's like he just doesn't even care and can't hold back. He zips around even on air quite a bit with shadowy after images following through, which is a beautiful contrast, honestly. One of the coolest part about him though is his resonance skill, where if you target far away enemies as shown on stream, you can just airwalk on bamboos your way over to the enemy and then slam it down down with a slash. It is awesome to see, and I can't wait to try it out in-game as well. His Resonance Liberation is a whole dimension slash, which honestly sold it for me. I think Qiuyuan is just badass. The effect of the ultimate feels like bro's just slashing the whole screen apart. As for his gameplay, it should be quite similar to a lot of the modern day characters. Gaining Forte, which opens up an enhanced heavy attack, where he'll then unlock even more enhanced AoE hits as shown on stream, which is where his damage should be the highest then. Now I will say the fact that on stream they mentioned that he's using enhanced heavy attack, there's a good chance he has something to do with heavy attack damage, but then again there's not quite enough known yet about Qiuyuan to really say where he would be best at or if he would be good with Galbrena, but you know, these are just thoughts to ponder about. Similar to Galbrena, Qiuyuan's value and best role will depend on his damage time and outro skill in the end. The stream itself really did not give too much away about Qiuyuan, but seeing his animations and design, I find it quite believable that he should be able to dish out solid damage, but whether or not if he's a main DPS or a sub DPS or supportive capabilities, we'll have to wait for more information, and again, we'll be covering all of that as they release on the official channel of Wuthering Waves the moment they get released. A quick talk on who to go for. I actually think we're good considering we just finished grabbing Yuno and Augusta. It's hard to imagine that we got any to choose left, not gonna lie, but overall I think most of us have already gotten the recent strong teams, and as long as we have enough teams to go around, there's not a reason to force yourself to pull any characters, obviously. The issue is these two do look hella good and tempting though. If anything, I'm actually so interested in Qiuyuan. His animations and vibe is just straight up badass. Bro is slashing about while basically looking like he does not care. There are also future characters to think about where they already teased in some animations we've seen from the official channels, so it would be the good old dilemma again for gacha players. There are way too many characters to pull, but not enough resources to grab them. And not only that, we have to talk about the reruns as well that they've announced. Alongside Galbrena is Lupa, which I do find it believable that Lupa and Galbrena has some sort of synergy there, given both are fusion characters and both are rerun with each other. And it seems the idea should be clear, Lupa being a staple character for any fusion teams. If you're looking to use Galbrena in a fusion setup, you want to also grab Lupa, but as I mentioned, Galbrena may be able to be used in quite a variety of different teams, so you may not need to force yourself to grab the Lupa alongside her, which is just a blessing. In terms of Lupa herself as a rerun though, I will say, fusion team, while they look good and all, they're not exactly the strongest team ever to exist for sure compared to the other teams that we have, which is a shame because my Chang-Li sitting in the bench really would prefer some action. Though generally speaking, Lupa without the help of a lot of duplicates are usually just used in fusion teams, so I don't think she's a high priority character at least for this version. But the next banner of the second phase though would be a different story because we do have Zani. Zani's popularity was certainly insane back in the day for sure, and I'm pretty sure there's still a lot more fans of Zani today. And in the case of Zani, she's actually still top tier in various modes of all endgame right now, which if you want to build a separate team and that team being Zani, this is your time to pick her up. Well, I will say Zani's best team will certainly need a Phoebe, and that is the issue with that team where some people just don't have both of them together. But for people who already pulled Phoebe from before and you missed the Zani and you didn't get a chance to grab her, well, this is the best chance to. If you do decide to just complete the Zani team that still performs well today, that is actually a very solid idea, but we'll have to see though. Maybe Galbrena and Qiuyuan's numbers are insane and out of the world that we have to pull again. Though based on past experiences, I don't think Wuthering Waves would just release a team that's just painfully more strong than anyone else out of nowhere. With all that said, it's safe to say that I will be saving through Galbrena and Qiuyuan, I think, well, unless I want to make content on them. In any case though, do remember, at least compared to all other games I've played, I do think Wu has quite a good design where a lot of teams are still strong, and even with the older teams, they can still work out as long as you play them correctly and play them better. Which is why, yes, I'm still quite happy to see cool characters being released without the stress of knowing, oh, if I miss a character, I will forever be like behind. But in any case though, that is just me, and it's mostly just on me speaking with a lack of pulse after grabbing Augusta and Yuno. In any case, that will be all for the first impression for the new characters and reruns for the upcoming version. There's a lack of official announcement of what their kit looks like, which I would appreciate if they would just release it on stream, because why not? But usually we'll have to wait like a week or two before they release it on their official webpage. As they do release it, do look forward to the pre-release analysis and guides and stuff. The Yuno guide that I would usually have covered did not come yet because number one, I'm also just very busy. Number two, my editor has finally came back from vacation now, so you know what? Do expect that as well. It'll be quite a late video though. But with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Do let me know who you'll be going for just based off of what information we have on them alone. I think aesthetically speaking, I am actually somehow liking Qiuyuan more than Galbrena. I love Qiuyuan's animations so much. They really look unique. But hey, if you're a Galbrena fan, let me know in the comments down below too. And take care.